Hey, good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, April 9th. Welcome back to winter, everyone, huh? Hopefully this will only last for a few days and it'll melt and we can get back outside, back to green grass and doing the spring cleanup, yard work, and all that good stuff, huh? So, all right, I'm going to read to you guys again today. We're at chapter 10 today, and it's called First Watch. Hope everyone is enjoying. Pass the word around. Again, I'm not sure how many of you are actually watching and enjoying these videos or not. I'm only getting feedback from a few of you, so I'd love to hear from more. Okay, so chapter 10 is called First Watch. Here we go. Ray leaned on his entrenching tool and stretched his sore back. He spent the last half hour digging a 4-foot deep foxhole with Big John that both of them would sleep in that night. If he thought shoveling hay back home was hard, it was nothing compared to shoveling sand and coral on Okinawa. Was this what it was like for my father in the First World War, Ray thought? That war had been all trenches and foxholes. Were his father's arms and back sore every night from digging endless ditches? When the hole was finished, Ray wanted nothing more than to pass out in it and sleep until next week. But no such luck. "Barbecue," the sergeant called. "You got guard duty first watch, and be careful. While you two were out clearing caves, we were attacked by a bunch of kids with grenades." Ray had heard the sound of shots and explosions in the distance as they were returning from the cave. He shook his head. Women and children throwing themselves off a cliff? Children with grenades? This definitely wasn't what he'd signed up for. Big John clapped Ray on the shoulder. "The fun never stops when you're a Marine. Don't worry, I'll stay up with you for a bit." Ray sighed and picked up his rifle. "Don't forget this," Big John said, plucking Ray's helmet on his head. "The helmet's the best thing the Marine Corps ever gave you, Barbecue. It's got 100 uses." "Really?" "Sure," Big John said. "You can wash in it, shave in it, cook in it, and barf in it when you get sick. You can put gas in it to clean your gun, dig a hole with it if you lose your entrenching tool. You can sit on it, and you can use it to bail out your foxhole when it rains. That right there is the greatest military tool ever invented." Ray reached up to straighten his helmet. "You forgot the part about keeping you from getting shot in the head," he told Big John. Big John snorted. "Oh, it don't do that." Ray remembered the sniper putting a bullet right through Sergeant Meredith's helmet. That made him think of hard luck again. The look on his face after the bullet hit him, the way he had tumbled headfirst into the mud, laughing and joking one minute, dead the next. The camp settled into a quiet as darkness fell. One man in each foxhole went to sleep, while the others, like Ray, watched the surrounding terrain for intruders. But all Ray saw was hard luck over and over again. "How'd you end up in the Marines, Barbecue?" Big John whispered. I should read that over again. "How'd you end up in the Marines, Barbecue?" Big John whispered. "Huh?" Ray said, shaking off the memory of Hard Luck's death. Had Big John caught him doing the 1,000-yard stare and asked him a question to distract him? Well, it didn't matter. It had worked. "Oh, I graduated from high school and I wasn't going to college, so I enlisted before I got drafted." He left out the part about the fight he'd had with his father, the awful things Ray had said to him, and his mother in tears. Big John nodded. "Me? I never finished 8th grade." He spoke quietly. I should have read that again, in a whisper. He spoke quietly, just above a whisper, so they could hear any Japanese soldier approaching. "I was already big enough to work and join a street gang, and that's what I did until I borrowed a car for a joyride and the cops got wise. Judge gave me a choice, join the Marines or go to juvie. Enlisting sounded like a lot better than reform school. So, here I am." Ray couldn't believe Big John hadn't finished 8th grade and that he'd been arrested for stealing a car. How many more of Easy Company had crazy stories about how they'd ended up in the Marines? Something rustled in the undergrowth just beyond the camp's perimeter, and Big John put up a hand to tell Ray to be quiet. Ray raised his rifle and squinted into the half-light of the moon. "How'd you make out, Joe?" asked a quiet voice. The words were in English, but the accent was definitely Japanese. Before Ray knew what was happening, Big John opened up with his Browning automatic. Ch-ch-ch-ch-ch! Ray didn't know what Big John was shooting at until a Japanese soldier popped up right in front of them. "Banzai!" the soldier screamed, charging Ray and Big John. Ray flinched, but pulled his trigger. "Pacow!" And the bullet hit the soldier. He fell to the ground, but he wasn't dead yet. With the strength he still had left, the Japanese soldier raised his rifle in the direction of Big John. In a wild panic, Ray pointed his rifle straight down at the enemy soldier and shot him again. Pacow! And at last, the man was still. Ray stood over the soldier, watching the life in his eyes go out. More Marines from Easy Company came running with their rifles, but it was all over as quickly as it had begun. As his adrenaline wore off, Ray started to shake so much that he couldn't stand. He staggered back and dropped his rifle and collapsed inside his foxhole. He couldn't stop the tears that streamed from his eyes, and he turned away, sure Big John was going to make fun of him. Hey, it's okay, Ray," Big John said softly. He knelt beside Ray and put his hand on his shoulder. "I know what it feels like to kill a man for the first time," Big John told him. "We all do." That just made Ray cry harder, but it felt good to cry, to get it all out. All this sadness and terror and shaking rage he felt about everything he'd seen and done in just a day on Okinawa. "You had to do it," Big John told him. "You saved us both." Ray nodded, running his sleeve across his nose and wiping the tears from his eyes. "It does get easier," Big John said, and Ray couldn't tell if he meant it as a good thing or a bad thing. Big John stood. "Get your rifle and see if he's got anything on him." Ray wiped his nose and dried his tears again, and he stood. Looking at the body of the man he'd killed was easier if he didn't look at his face. Ray collected the soldier's rifle and laid it to his side. Then he went through the man's pockets. In one of them he found a wallet, and inside the wallet was a picture of the soldier and his family. Ray was taken aback for a moment. Here was the face of the man he'd just killed, standing with a woman and a boy, probably his wife and his young son. They all looked serious, the way people often did in old American photos, but the man had his hands on the shoulders of his wife and his son. He obviously loved them and wanted to keep them safe, wanted to protect them from the American devils like Ray. Ray took the picture out of the wallet and put it in his pocket. Ray would keep the photo, carry it with him, keep this man and his family alive in a way. It felt like the right thing to do. We'll stop it there for today. Guys, I hope you're having a great day. Get outside as much as you can. I know I keep saying that, but with these days getting warmer and warmer, it'd be great to have everyone outside enjoying them, huh? Don't forget you've got an IXL language assignment that's due on Tuesday, huh? If you got any questions, give me a shout. Otherwise, tune in again tomorrow, okay? Take care.